Hey, this is Scott, and today we're taking a look at the Feelworld F6 Plus. First off, if you're not already following my Facebook page, please do head over there and hit the like button. It's just been a crazy summer. It's been really busy. It's really hot. So I have been having a little bit of a hard time getting out these reviews as often as I hope to. But I do post as much as I can on Facebook, behind the scenes photos, little things like that, little stories or things that I'm working with. So if you want to see what I'm using, how I'm using it, and kind of what reviews are coming up, I hope to see you there. I will put a link in the video description if you want to check it out. For now, let's really quickly run through the basic specs of this monitor here. It's a 5.5-inch touchscreen monitor that has about 500 nits in brightness. It's got a 1920 1080 400 ppi display that can accept up to 4K 30 frames per second signals and does have an HDMI loop out. There is an SD card slot for LUTS, which is new for Feelworld monitors. However, that's the only really new thing in terms of what functions are built into here. You still don't have things like waveform or vectorscope. The menu system is a new design for Feelworld though, to go together with that touchscreen capability, and it comes with a micro HDMI, a tilting arm, and a sunshade. It comes in right around $250. So now let's talk about what's really cool here. So it may seem stupid, but one thing I'm really glad to see here as a small little update is that this mounting arm will actually tilt without loosening this screw. So Feelworld is not new to this style of mounting arm, but they usually require you to loosen the screw to tilt it, but finally you do not have to do that. The screw thread on the side here has the anti-twist kind of indentations, which means that you can just grab the monitor and twist this without having to loosen that with one hand, which is an amazing feature to have, and it's kind of the first time I think that I've seen that on anything besides the small HD monitor. They do also have mounting points on the bottom and on the top, and both of those do have these indentations for that anti-twist feature. So you've got a lot of flexibility here in how you mount this, even if you don't use this bracket, which is awesome anyway, so you probably should. I'm once again happy to see here a dual purpose battery plate, so you can use something like this Sony MPF or a Canon LPE6 battery. It's just really great to have the versatility to be able to use either of those depending on what you have more of or what you have that's charged on set with you. So you don't have any restrictions here with the built-in battery plate, nothing you have to switch out either. Of course, there is DC in on here, which is great when you have this on a rig with maybe V-mount power, for example, something that can power this for a longer time without really having to pay attention to that. I also personally appreciate that there is a push to release button instead of just having a friction-based battery plate. I personally think that these are just easier to use. They also did a pretty good job with the touchscreen interface here. Of course, you get pinch to zoom, which is great and very useful. Just hold your finger down for a second to release that or to zoom back out. But you can also slide your finger up and down on screen to adjust the backlight or the volume, which is really nice and quick to do. It seems that sliding your finger up and down on the left side of the screen will adjust the backlight, while the right side of the screen will adjust the volume. So I really like how quick and easy that is to do. You can also swipe up from the bottom to access some quick function buttons, but it doesn't seem like you can customize what they are programmed to, unfortunately. The good thing is that the menu system is also quite simple and easy to access, so those custom function buttons aren't quite as necessary as they have been in the past with Feelworld's more complex menu system, and they are also already programmed to things that you'd be more likely to toggle on and off more often anyway. Anyway, to get into the menu, double tap on screen and 5 pages of options will show up on the left. On the top you have exposure and assist features. You have histogram focus assist, which is customizable. You can change the focus level and the focus color. You have audio meters, you have zebras, which are also customizable. You can set which % of exposure those will kick in at. You have monochrome and false color, which does also include a scale down at the bottom of the screen. As a quick note, things that have more than one option, like monochrome for example, will show up as a sub menu when you choose it from the bottom custom function buttons, but it will just cycle through one by one when you're accessing it through the main menu. Moving on, you have the framing menu with safety markers in a number of different presets. You have your center marker, you have your marker matte, again with a number of different presets, and you can adjust the marker matte opacity from 50 to 75%, 0 and 25%, and you can also adjust the marker color here, which is those lines, and that will apply for both the safety markers and the marker matte. You can also use both the marker matte and the safety marker at the same time as well, and they do seem to be interactive, like for example 80% safety markers inside of whatever marker matte you have set. You then have more video settings like scan mode, video aspect, some anamorphic modes, for example 1.25, 1.33, 1.5, and 2.0, plus a couple of extras. You can also have individual control of horizontal and vertical flip for your screen. You can zoom into your image here, you can freeze your image, or use pixel to pixel. After that are your color settings, which include the LUTS settings and LUT import from SD card, although there are already a few built in when you get this monitor. If you turn that on, you can see they have log C, they have vlog, they have slog2, slog3, and back to log C. You have your monitor's color temperature, the backlight, the brightness, the contrast, saturation, hue, and sharpness down the bottom. This may be a good time to note that although yes, you can navigate through this menu with the touchscreen very easily, you can also turn that touchscreen off, and when you do that, you can navigate through the menu with this touch wheel by scrolling and clicking. And if you want to open those quick access features at the bottom, just click once when you have nothing open on screen and they'll pop up. If you want to open up the main menu, just hold the button down for a few seconds and that will come up as well. Anyway, back to that main menu. The last page allows you to set the wheels function when you're not in the menu to either adjusting the backlight or the volume. You can choose your language, you can adjust the menu's transparency, you can adjust the on-screen display time, how long this menu will stay open. You can adjust the volume, and of course you can reset your monitor and update the firmware. As a quick note there, the on-screen display time, which I have set now to be always on, does not seem to affect the quick access menu buttons that pop up at the bottom of the screen, so you can see here that they will shut off by themselves even when I have the on-screen display time set to always. On the main screen, you do have a battery meter here, and there doesn't really seem to be any way to turn this off. You do also get a clip-on Velcro sunscreen in the kit, and the only other thing that seems to be worth mentioning really is that it does seem to slowly drain the battery when the power is off, so if you are not using this for a while, be sure to take that battery out of there. And of course, I didn't seem to see any significant lag when I was using this with the Canon EOS R, for example, comparing it to the screen on the back of the camera. Didn't see anything worth mentioning, and the battery life is actually pretty good. I seem to get almost 2 hours out of one of these small-sized Sony MPF batteries, which is more than enough for me. They did a really great job with this monitor. I mean, it's kind of middle of the road in terms of what it offers and features, but it does have LUTS support now, it does have touchscreen, and overall it feels and it looks really good, and it's very easy to use. I really like their new menu system. I love the mounting bracket here, and I really appreciate that you have that dual purpose battery plate on the back. I wish there were waveforms, of course, and I do wish there was a custom mode for the aspect ratio marker, because recently I've been shooting some vertical video but shooting it horizontally, so that way we have both versions to work with, and I would love to be able to kind of dial in the exact percent that I want those safety markers to be on, so that way I can frame up my shot, which it doesn't have. It just has those presets built in. And I would love to be able to customize that list of functions that shows up on the bottom of the screen, but I can live without all of those things. There is no fan in here. It can get a little bit warm to the touch, but that doesn't seem to be any problem, and it starts up in just a few seconds. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of rambling off these last few points here. All in all, for the price, this is a pretty great monitor. The ease of use, both physically and in the menu, is really great, and that's a big win for me. Flexible mounting options, a good medium size, bright enough display, plus you got a sun hood there. Really, there's a lot to like about this. But for now, if you have any questions or comments, leave those down below and I will do my best to get back to you. Again, don't forget to head over to my Facebook page and like that. It's a great place to get more information about what I'm doing and how I'm using things. You can see behind the scenes photos, and if you have any questions, that's another great place to ask me as well. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to see more in the future, and as always, thank you for watching.